Hey, what's up guys? Joker here. Today we got two news stories coming in concerning Just Cause 3 and its system requirements, as well as Assassin's Creed Syndicate's SLI issues, which I covered in my performance review, which in case you missed, I will link it right here. But our first news story today is concerning Just Cause 3. We've got the system requirements for the game, courtesy of DSOG, Dark Side of Gaming, and also we found out that there's going to be the inclusion of Nvidia Gameworks features. Yeah. Oh, why do they just keep doing it? Just stop it. We don't want our Nvidia frame drop features. Fucking Nvidia Gimpworks. Anyway, so yeah, it looks like they're going to be using Gameworks features in Just Cause 3, unfortunately. So those are just going to be some options that when we do the performance review, we're likely just going to have to turn off to get ideal performance. But hey, I don't know. Maybe I could be a little optimistic. This is Avalanche after all. They did Mad Max earlier this year. That game was optimized really well. And I trust Avalanche to an extent, at least a lot more than Ubisoft. Hell of a lot more than Ubisoft. Avalanche has never really burned me in any massive way. I love Just Cause 1 and 2, and I'm looking forward to 3 as well, just hoping that the story is maybe a little bit more fleshed out and the characters are a little bit more interesting in Just Cause 3, but also want to be able to cause all of that havoc like we did in the previous titles. So we don't know exactly which Gameworks features are yet. DSOG is speculating that it may be HBO Plus or TXAA, but that's really just conjecture at this point. We don't know exactly for sure. And they said in here also in the article that they don't know if we'll be seeing anything like their turbulent smoke effects, things that we saw in like Batman Arkham Knight. Let's fucking hope not. If there was anything that was in Batman Arkham Knight that made it perform the way that it did and still does, can we please just keep that out of any games in the future, please? Anyway, that's my mini rant here for Gameworks. Let's get into the system requirements, okay? System requirements, that's why we're all here, isn't it? So minimum system requirements, they are saying a 64-bit OS, Windows 7, Windows 8.1, probably Windows 10 as well, I'm assuming. For the CPU, they're recommending, or no, minimum requirements here. This is the i5-2300K or the AMD Phenom AMD Phenom 2X61055T, both 2.8 gigahertz processors. For the memory side, they are saying 6 gigabytes of RAM, and for the GPU, a GTX 660 or an AMD Radeon HD 7870 or higher. So 2 gigabyte cards for the minimum requirements, and DirectX 11 as well as needing 45 gigabytes of hard drive space. So massive install. Hopefully they have the majority of that on the disk if you are buying a physical copy, because that's a big download. Looking at the recommended system requirements, staying consistent here with a 64-bit OS, bumping up to an i7-3770 or an FX 8350. Now, in the past, I've said, time and time again, an i5 is really good enough for gaming. But in my recent testing of so many open world titles, I'm starting to see that shrink more and more and more as being a likelihood on these open world titles. GTA 5, Witcher 3, Batman Arkham Knight, Fallout 4, Assassin's Creed Syndicate. All of these games run considerably better on an i7, going as far as to say that an i5 was an extreme bottleneck and I was not seeing full utilization of my GPUs as a result of using an i5 in the test rig. So with this being an open world title, I'm inclined to agree with them and their recommendation of using an i7 here, based on what we've seen in other modern open world titles recently. RAM is 8 gigabytes, they're saying here, and for the GPU side on Nvidia, they're saying a GTX 760 3 gigabyte, which doesn't even exist, so guessing a 764 gigabyte, but a minimum of 3 gigabytes of video memory, probably to run the game maxed out at 1080p, as well as an AMD R9 280X 3 gigabytes, which would be like a 380 basically, and still 45 gigabytes of hard drive space. So pretty reasonable system requirements, I would say, and they seem accurate based on what we've seen gameplay-wise so far in the game, but we're just going to have to wait and see when the game finally comes out, get my hands on it, bring you guys a performance review to see how it is running on a large variety of hardware, especially running on that i5, to see if it can handle Just Cause 3 in the open-world environment. Our last bit of news for today is concerning Ubisoft and Assassin's Creed Syndicate. Now, you guys know, if you watch my performance review or if you've been anywhere on the forums, that this game has massive SLI issues. Just, it doesn't scale at all. You may as well be running it on a single GPU, because you probably will get the same or maybe even slightly better performance using a single GPU versus SLI. This is the same thing I saw with Arkham Knight when that came out, tested that on single GPU versus multi-GPU, and single GPU actually scored higher on their in-game benchmark. And by the way, Arkham Knight, they just basically threw in the towel as far as SLI is concerned for that game. They basically said, yeah, we just give up. It's not really tenable at this time to have Arkham Knight running SLI. So they just basically gave up. Hopefully, Ubisoft is not the same, and they're willing to at least try to optimize this a bit better. We saw Unity get better over time with SLI scaling, so hopefully they can take whatever they applied there with Unity into Syndicate, and we can get some better SLI scaling and start to see better scaling on higher end systems so that we could play at a more consistent frame rate at higher resolutions. Because when people are buying a game like this, a really gorgeous looking game, and wanting to play it on something like 4K, SLI is really a necessity at that point if you're wanting to get over 60 frames and running with everything cranked up. And hopefully they continue to optimize for their Gameworks features in the game too, because we all know how well those run. They don't run at all. You just basically, you start the game, you turn those off, and then you're good to go. That's the fix. That's the Gameworks fix in Assassin's Creed Syndicate. You heard it here first. Turn it off, fixed. Runs fine. Fine, bro, just fine. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. Let me know what you guys think below about the Just Cause 3 system requirements and the inclusion of the Gameworks features from Nvidia, as well as the SLI issues for Syndicate. Are you still playing Syndicate? Did you pick it up? Are you waiting for this maybe to get sorted out before you do pick it up? Let me know down in the comments below, and I will catch you guys next time. Tara. Nvidia Gameworks, the frames don't work. The frames don't work. Frames don't work. Nvidia can't even wear a fedora because they hate fedoras. I don't know where I was going with that. Wizard Cartman. Oh, by the way, I'm going to be at LAN Syndicate in April. If you guys want to come out, I'm going to be there with the whole Tech Syndicate people. I think Barnacles is going to be there as well. I know Jay's 2 cents said he's probably not going, but because he's doing PDX LAN in, I think, February it was, so... But there's going to be a lot of people there. Obviously, Tech Syndicate will be there. It's going to be absolutely awesome. It's in the Seattle area, April 15th through the 17th. It's a weekend. So, yeah, I don't know if you guys are going to be there. Definitely let me know. I'd be curious to see how many people are going to be there. Maybe we can have a meetup, get a beer, chill, play some games. Should be a good time. LAN Syndicate in Seattle. Yeah. Ooh, yeah. I'm even rocking my God Mode shirt from Epic Pants right here. God Mode! God mode, bro. Look at that. Makeshift pop filter right there. Pop filter. It's not pop, pop, pop. See, it's a pop filter. You can actually make a pop filter out of any piece of cloth. FYI. Pretty much. You can put a sock over a hanger. Pop filter. Done. Job sorted. Anyway, yeah, Epic Pants. If you want to check out LAN Syndicate details, landsyndicate.com. I guess that's the end of the video now. Probably. Mostly.